Hi everyone, I am here yet again for another anime debate. Once again, for those that don't know, my regular computer where I use to edit and put images on the screen is out of commission. So for the next week or so, we're gonna be doing videos like this where I'll do a live stream that is unlisted, and then I'll post that unlisted live stream up for the world to see. Where I'll just kind of give you guys my rundown of different shows I'm watching this season. So right away, I want you to know that I saw Goblin Slayer. After a lot of people said, "Hey, you need to go watch that, go watch that, go watch that." Do you like the that time I got reincarnated as a slime? You'll love Goblin Slayer. Well, you're wrong. How do I explain this? Goblin Slayer is a very brutal anime. It is very, very violent. I've seen more violent, but in the things that it goes over, I was immediately very shocked. So, what happened in the anime? I'll give you a quick rundown, and then I'll kind of discuss my thoughts on it. Goblin Slayer opens up with an unnamed protagonist. It's a girl who's a healer, and she's got that adventurous spunk about her that most protagonists do have in anime. She's very excited about, I'm going to be an adventurer. I'm going to go and I'm going to join a squad. It's her first time. She's a newbie to it. So she's in the room registering to go and take her assignment on, and a brash young adventurer goes, "Hey, come join us. We're kind of new to this too. Let's go together and let's go on a squad adventure." She's like, "Yeah, let's go," because there is I think a spellcaster with them. There is a brawler character with them. And I believe, and a regular adventurer kid with his armor and his sword that he doesn't really know how to use. So he's kind of telling them the whole run. He's like, "Hey, we're gonna go on an adventure. We're gonna go, slay some goblins because goblins are like the lowest level creatures, and it'll be easy. Don't worry about it." The whole time our protagonist character is very afraid, very nervous, and they're all kind of annoyed with her because she's like, "Hey guys, shouldn't we prepare first? Shouldn't we, maybe think about this, or should we just go right into this cave and fight these low level monsters?" And they're like, "Don't worry about it. We got it covered. Don't worry about it." And they go through, and essentially, and this is where I'll kind of stop explaining because I won't spoil everything. This is where they get trapped by the goblins. And the goblins are, while low level creatures, they're still not like, they're not complete weaklings, and they start to kill and rape our protagonist's friends, our new friends, and then squad members. And I'll pause there. I'll get back to more spoiler talk later, but I want to dig into some more analysis at this point. So yeah, I start watching, I know something bad is going to happen because there's blood at the very, on the title screen. There is this very ominous feeling about the anime, and the fact that it opened up so cheery made me know that they're kind of like leading you on this road to be horrified. I knew it was coming. I just didn't know when or how much. I've seen things like High School of the Dead, so I'm not a stranger to violent anime. I've also seen Berserk, and this to me feels a little bit like Berserk. This also feels a lot like what the horrors of war is like. Like you may play a video game like Call of Duty, but you don't really get the full impact of it until you see it for yourself, or you see the actual action go down, where there's blood everywhere, and it doesn't just take one swipe of your sword to kill an enemy. They don't disappear. They don't fade into dust. They need to be stabbed repeatedly. They need to be hit in the right places. Their necks need to be slashed. They need to actually be murdered. You're not going into this adventure world where yeah, let's fight, and you just throw your sword around like an idiot, and things just work out for you. You have to actually know how to execute and actually know how to kill. The one bad thing that does happen is that one of the team members gets stabbed by a goblin, and she tries to use heal, but it doesn't do anything. It doesn't actually seem to work. Her other powers work though. She can use her holy light and whatnot. So I'm not really sure if they're going to bring that up later in the series of her healing abilities not being up to snuff. But we'll see. This is only episode 1. So yeah, so the show is extremely violent. People will make note of that again and again and again, to the point where they make sure you have the realities of what the situation is. I think a lot about Pokemon. if they had a Pokemon series where this kid was like, I want to be a Pokemon master, and then you get out there and you realize that to become a Pokemon master, you have to maim and either kill or bring to near death so you can capture creatures in the wild. It may make you question your choice to go out and be an adventurer. It may make you question your choice to, go live this life where you're, basically like, hurting animals for a living. I mean, it might just be a different choice you want to make there if you see the realities of it. So the story continues, and eventually, after pretty much all the team members have been murdered or killed or raped, the Goblin Slayer shows up, and he's a badass. He's OP as you would expect, but it's not that OP that like bothers you. Like, oh my god, this guy's so OP. It's not fair. He's like obviously been doing this for a while. He's obviously really good at it. And he takes a lot of tactician and a lot of time to even explain the thing that he's doing as he does it. He sets traps. He knows where to kill them. He knows, kind of their movements, their patterns. He knows everything there is to know about goblins, because the thing that he does is he slays goblins. He is a Goblin Slayer. So it feels like even though he is OP, he earned it. It feels like he's, a veteran in this. And he's willing to, do what needs to be done to take care of the mission. Even when like there's a fallen team member that isn't dead, he's kind of like, forget about her, because frankly, she's covered in blood. They're going to come back to this source because they need to, I feel like goblins in this world are can't see very well, and they react by smell and react by kind of like instinct. So he kind of knows, like, if there's blood everywhere, they're going to smell you out, they're going to get you, that's it. So you can't bring her along, and so he kind of goes, we got to just put her out of her misery, because she only would have slowed us down. So then, the Goblin Slayer executes her. And then, the girl's so scared that she pees herself. The goblins can smell that. And there's so much to this stuff that just makes it feel like we're living in a real world, and not another adaptation of a video game, or not a video game I'm trapped in kind of story. I feel like with that time I was reincarnated as a slime, we are clearly in a video game world, and I don't think the consequences there will be felt as heavily. So this show already has my attention, because I like the idea that there will be consequences to every action. Like even our protagonist goes and gets chainmail armor to protect herself next time she goes out in one of these scenarios, because she isn't invulnerable. Even though she's a healer, she still needs to be protected, because these goblins aren't just clawing at you with their hands. They are picking up your weapons and stabbing you with them. They're like shooting arrows at you like they do in Legend of Zelda. So I mean, ultimately, you need to really be prepared before you go out there, because you can be defeated by these low-level creatures if you're not careful, if you don't know what you're doing, if you're not prepared. You need to go out there with a plan in place. And that's why I'm actually, like digging this thing, even though it's really bloody. I didn't think I was going to be able to stomach watching it, because I normally don't like watching things where there's a lot of blood and a lot of violence. But I'm intrigued enough to learn more about the Goblin Slayer himself, because at the end of the whole thing, they bring back one of the survivors, and she basically, after being raped, is like catatonic, it seems, and is never going to adventure again. And so obviously this girl, our protagonist, needs an ally. And I think the ally will be the Goblin Slayer, which I assume he's probably gone on other adventures and lost other team members before. And she's just a tool to him to be used, because he needs someone who can maybe do healing. And again, I think that the fact that her healing didn't work in the cave will come back into fruition of the show later. It is, of course, a manga, so if you want to get ahead in the story, you can read the manga. I have not read the manga, and I'm going to be honest with you about that with you guys. But I did dig what I saw here, and I am excited to see where this story takes us. Let me know if you want me to do more episode breakdowns, and by giving this video a thumbs up and leaving a comment. Just let me know what you want. But ultimately, if I have to rate this thing anything, I'm going to give it 4 out of 5 stars. It wasn't perfect. The animation is really good. It reminds me of ReZero. I think maybe just because of all the consequences you're seeing and all the blood, and because it's like, with ReZero, you don't just die and then, in a video game, you would die and come back to life. But when in ReZero, you die or you watch your friends die, you have to relive those moments again and again and again. And at some point, that is going to give you some form of PTSD or to make you more disturbed or take away that shining, like newness for you. It's going to be like, oh God, this is horrifying. But the animation, I think because of the eyes being so like broken when you see it, you see it when something bad happened to a character. I think that's really what makes me think about that anime. The music is really well done. It builds up where it needs to build up. It falls where it needs to fall. The voice acting is good. I have no complaints there. I'm just curious to get to know these characters. Like, will we learn the protagonist's name? What else is going to happen? Are we only slaying the level monsters? Are we only slaying goblins? Why is our protagonist doing what she does? We'll find that out, I hope, later in the series. But for now, I do enjoy it. And I'm wondering what you guys want to see me break down or review next. I'm doing another head-to-head anime debate, classic style, where I take two anime, put them up against one another as soon as I get my computer back. So that will happen later this week. But ultimately, guys, I just want to say thank you for supporting the channel. Please give me a thumbs up and leave a comment. It really means a lot to me. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Anime out. I don't know if that's even going to be a thing, the anime out thing. I'm just going to keep doing it until someone tells me to stop. Anyway, guys, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Let's dig into it. Oh, yeah.